The Allies of Humanity, Book 3, by Marshall V. Summers. Fourth Briefing, Hidden Powers. Humanity has a strength that it has not yet realized, a strength that can offset the intervention, a strength that will give humanity a greater promise and a greater power in the universe. This is an unseen strength. It is a strength that once experienced becomes an essential force in directing one's life and in providing one's true power and security. This power is called knowledge in the universe. It is the power to see, to know, and to act with clarity and certainty. It is a power that is beyond persuasion and manipulation, from any foreign source or from any other source. It is a power that is given as a potential to each individual within the human family and beyond. In the greater community, religion ultimately becomes the study and application of the way of knowledge, for this is what is most translatable in religion. Local customs, local teachers, local history does not translate from one world to another. Only that which is essential in the study and the practice of the awareness of the Creator and the Creator's great endowment of knowledge to the individual is translatable. Only in worlds where individual freedom is valued and supported is knowledge a true emphasis and a true goal, not only for the individual, but for the nation at large. That is why knowledge is feared and avoided in nations where there is no individual freedom, because the power of knowledge can stimulate individual creativity, individual dissent, and individual differentiation from the will and the direction of the group. It is this freedom and creativity that give your life its dynamic qualities, its power, and its potency. This enables an individual to fulfill their destiny in the world. The cultivation of knowledge is rare in the universe because freedom is rare in the universe. The way of knowledge is studied in secret in many worlds and nations where freedom is discouraged or is not allowed. It is most potently expressed in free nations, where it is seen as not only the avenue to personal fulfillment and contribution, but also as a source of power in the mental environment, a power that can be used to protect a free race from foreign intrusion and intervention. Humanity does not yet realize how much strength it truly has and the advantages that you have because your religions have been maintained and have not been replaced by a belief in technology. They have not been completely subjugated to the political agendas of ruling nations. Though there has been much corruption, we understand, the power and the presence of knowledge in humanity remain strong, and its potential for the future is greatly encouraging. If this knowledge were not present and were not accessible to human beings, then our message of warning, encouragement, and hope would be of no purpose. We are speaking to this knowledge within you and within all human hearts. It is not ideas that we are presenting, as much as the recognition of reality and the preparation that humanity must undergo to prepare for its future in the greater community. For your destiny is there, and your success and your failure will occur within the context of the greater community. Knowledge represents a deeper voice. It is how the Creator will speak to you, to guide you, to protect you, and to prepare you. It is completely free from interference, persuasion, and manipulation. It represents the core of your strength and your most powerful asset. Any action you may take to preserve humanity's freedom would in the end prove to be unsuccessful if knowledge did not accompany it. This is one of the reasons again why the wise remain hidden, for they have the power and the presence of knowledge. The intervention does not know of this knowledge and does not use it, and therefore it represents your greatest strength. But the awareness of knowledge must be cultivated. The need for knowledge must be recognized, for your individual intellect cannot compete with the power of the group mind that exists in the greater community. Yet knowledge within you is immune from its influence and can see through its deceptions. The strength of your ideas and beliefs are weak compared to those that are held firmly by many minds in the greater community. But the power of knowledge is stronger. It cannot be turned. It cannot be betrayed. It cannot be altered by any power in the universe. Only the Creator of all life can speak to it, and only to this does it listen. Knowledge within you is united with knowledge within others. So as knowledge becomes stronger in the human family, war and conflict will lose their appeal and attraction. As knowledge becomes stronger in the human family, offers of foreign technology and foreign governance will lose their appeal. To knowledge, they will mean nothing. All those things that influence people to harm themselves or to engage in activities that are not in their best interests will lose their appeal in the face of knowledge, this deeper power. Not all human beings need to find this power, but many do. Otherwise, the intervention will go unimpeded. The governments will hide what they know, struggling within themselves in how to deal with this presence and its intentions. And the people of the world will remain self-obsessed and ignorant, unaware of the greater threat to their future and their freedom. If enough people can become strong with knowledge and learn about the greater community, then humanity will not succumb. It will resist the intervention. And its resistance will demonstrate to the governors of trade and commerce that humanity is a self-determined race and does not will to be interfered with and controlled by foreign powers. This will give you strength and respect, which at this moment you do not have. The greatest gift that any other races can give you is their wisdom about life in the universe and their awareness of the power of knowledge. It is this non-technological power that will make all the difference in which path you take. Whether you will choose conflict and war within your world, or cooperation and unity. Whether you will prepare for the greater community by recognizing the presence of the intervention and its threat, or whether you will ignore them to focus on other things that you think to be important. And it is people's awareness of this inner power that will determine what path humanity will take in establishing human unity, whether that be a path of oppression and submission or a path of consensus and awareness. It will determine what people see, what they know, and what they do. This is how central knowledge is to your experience, and this is why it represents the greatest power in the universe. Those who are strong with knowledge have power in the mental environment. They cannot be seduced, and they cannot be induced by any force. They will value freedom, they will value strength, they will value unity, and they will value purpose. Humanity does value these things, but not sufficiently regarding your emergence into the greater community, and not sufficiently regarding the declining condition of your world. We know this because intervention has occurred in many places, even within our own worlds, where we had to fight and struggle to regain our freedom and to expel those forces that were attempting to guide us and to control us. Our histories are difficult and not without regret. Many of our kind were lost in the struggle for freedom because we did not pay heed to the warning in time, and then had to face the very difficult task of overthrowing those who had established themselves as powers within our own respective worlds. That is why the Creator of all life has sent us to speak for the allies of humanity, to advise humanity, to warn humanity, and to encourage humanity to recognize its great opportunities and the great dangers that lie ahead, to prepare accordingly, and to seek the deeper power of knowledge, which will provide for you the inspiration, the courage, and the will to undertake the difficult change that must be established within the world. Humanity does not know of its strength, and the intervention is leading it only to believe in its weakness. The intervention wants humanity to feel weak and helpless, discouraged and despondent. This is the perfect environment in which the intervention can establish itself, establish its power, build its support, and gain its advantage in a foreign world. This is why you must consider these things we speak of before you come to any conclusions about the potential for humanity in its own world and beyond its world. Great care and skill must be brought to your encounters with intelligent life from beyond the world. The need for transparency and accountability regarding any visitation is very great. Here you must have certainty and not only hope. Knowledge provides certainty. Without knowledge, you may have hope, but without certainty, hope is weak and can easily be discouraged. Certainty will tell you what you must do. It will inform you of what is required of you as an individual and what is required of your nations. We have provided the 3 requirements to build and establish freedom in the greater community. These can serve as contexts for important human development. But these developments must be inspired by knowledge. Otherwise, the desire for unity can lead to oppression. The desire for discernment can lead to secrecy, if not guided by knowledge. The intervention must be opposed. Its presence must be denounced. Its activities must be exposed. People must refuse to believe in foreign powers who are here without human permission, acting against human will and awareness. Disclosure to people from their governments is important, but people also must disclose what they see and what they themselves have experienced regarding the presence of the intervention. Humanity must build its boundary to space. It must give its eyes and attention to space. You cannot have your back to the universe if you are going to be able to see what is coming and see what is already here. The taking of people against their will must be exposed and denounced. It is for an insidious purpose. It can only weaken and divide the human family even further. You must recognize that competition now exists, competition from beyond the world. This competition must be recognized and must be exposed. Those who have believed that this presence is here for humanity's good must see that this is not the case, that they have been deceived, and that those who have been taken against their will believe in things that they were encouraged to believe. You are the native peoples of this world. You are experiencing intervention. The history of your world teaches you what intervention is like, and that it is always carried out in the interest of those who are intervening. Do not let yourself then fall under foreign persuasion and intervention. Understand that your true friends and allies would never intervene in the world in this way or carry on such activities, which only threaten the well-being of people and undermine humanity's unity, self-sufficiency, and discretion. To be able to discern friend from foe in the universe, you must know the difference between your strength and your weakness. For your foe will speak to your weakness, and your friend will speak to your strength. Everything that humanity values is now at risk. All that you have created, all of your advancements, all that you have accomplished, which is significant. You do not realize the gifts that have been given here and how important they are. You will encounter races in the universe within whose populations compassion is not shown towards one another. Their people have become more like machines, governed, controlled, and directed, with very little thought or feeling for themselves or for one another. This is common. This is one of the directions a race can take to establish stability and security. It is not the direction your allies have taken. They have charted a very different course for their peoples and for their future. Do not think that humanity's future is hopeless, because to think this is to fall prey to the persuasion that has been cast upon the human family. For the intervention seeks either to win your favor or to defeat your opposition. If they cannot win your favor, they will seek to discourage you and leave you hopeless and in despair. Faith in humanity, faith in the power of good human leadership, faith in the necessity and the requirement of human unity, self-sufficiency, and discretion. You must never lose this faith. No matter what things appear to be, you must never give up. The intervention wants you to give up, to give in, and to give over. But you must never do these things in the greater community. For once your freedom is lost, it is extremely difficult to reclaim, as we ourselves have experienced so powerfully. It is going to take tremendous courage to do what must be done in the world. Tremendous human innovation, human commitment, and cooperation. If you do not believe this is possible, then the intervention has already won. Then it is only a matter of time. You have succumbed without even realizing the influence that has been cast upon you. Freedom and unity are difficult to achieve, and they must be driven by a great necessity. It is not merely by chance that a nation would become free in the universe. It is by necessity and by choice. If you are not free in the universe, you will be governed by others. If you do not achieve and support your freedom, then you will not control your destiny. This is the reality of life in the universe. It is a reality that can either redeem you or defeat you, depending on how you respond to it. Many have failed in the greater community for these very reasons. Emerging races such as your own, unable to establish their freedom or having lost their self-sufficiency, find themselves under the persuasion of foreign powers. Overtaken often without any acts of overt violence, overtaken as a result of their own conflicts, overtaken by their own deprivation. All advancing nations face resource depletion. It is what they choose to do in the face of this that makes all the difference. Knowledge within the individual will guide them to make the right decision. But if knowledge is unknown or is not being experienced, then other decisions will be made. Humanity has great power, but it is not using its great power. It has great potential, but it is not realizing its potential. Individuals and nations still seek to gain as much as they can from their environment, without any thought of tomorrow and what tomorrow will bring. Nations are opposing each other and groups are opposing each other, without any awareness that they both face domination in the greater community. Here the greater community can be seen either as a great threat, a threat that people will deny or avoid, or a great challenge that can unite humanity on its own behalf, using its own power and skill. Here humanity will gain its strength through necessity, the strength of responding to a changing environment and to a changing set of circumstances.